Hello everybody. Good morning or good afternoon or good evening, depending on what time it is for you where you are. Welcome to our sultry 9 a.m. Went Thursday morning stream. Hi Kitty, you want to come up and say hi? I'd like to address our hyper purple gloomy lighting right away, just so that I have addressed it. It's the one half of my stream has been lit by my indoor hydroponic plant growing setup for a while. And due to a confluence of factors, I have reset it. So I've taken it down, I've cleaned it out, or at least it's on my list of things to clean out. And it is not currently active at this time, where it was previously providing half of my stream's light. I have several plans in place to address this, but none of them are going to be ready for this morning. So we're moody. Hi, how you doing? Happy Thursday. Welcome back. I'm on my Warlock. I thought about playing the Hunter, and it's true that she has more rested, but we just got to 30, and it would feel kind of iffy to go back. I feel like we're on this journey. We're going to see how far we can level in hardcore, and the only way to find out is to keep going forward. It's already going to be astronomically slow, but it's going to be astronomically slower if I split my time between two characters. So at least until like 40, I want to say, I would love to make myself stick with mainly one on stream. And then play other stuff off stream if need to. Momentum. Yeah, exactly. Spooky season mood lighting. Indeed. Love the lip color. Why, thank you. I was feeling like I wanted to put on lipstick, so I did. Back in hardcore, enjoying it this time. 4.5 hours to level 11. Nice. You're right, it is Warlock lighting. That's true. That's what it is. So we are, let me see here. I am level 30. I did my level 30 class training, so I have my new ranks of everything I was going to get a new rank of. Mostly just a new rank of demon armor. I'm now getting 9 health per 5, as well as 300 extra armor from that, and then upgraded immolate. I also have a new rank of taunt for my Voidwalker, and I did catch my imp napkin up on his various spells too. So I'm thinking what I mostly want to do today is kind of find a grind spot, really. I have something in mind. I'm going to poke around this quest. I'm also going to maybe cook one piece of crocketless meat, get a few more, and get myself some food buffs going here. But I was talking to Flabby about different places to grind in the wetlands, and I've got some ideas. Because quests are dangerous and grinding is safe. Crocketless gumbo. I need hot spices. I know there's a trade goods vendor around here somewhere. Is it you? It is you. It is him. His name is Kursak Prond. And he will sell me some spices. I'm going to buy a whole stack of them. Just to have them on me. Huh. Lots of new zones level 30. Gnome is wearing a hat. Brewfest today. Hard to say. I would say well, okay, here's the thing. Yesterday, off stream, I logged on to all of my characters and I ran all of them through Corrin Direbrew. I don't know how many it is. I want to say 15, maybe 20. More than 10 because I hit instance limit. And they didn't get anything. And I'm thinking, So I'm pouting, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Hit 21 on my hunter. Back and forth and where to level now. Doing well at avoiding cave quests and dungeons. I find that cave quests are decent if you over level them. That's the trick, is to just watch your back and then don't go in when everything's yellow. You know, give yourself like a good 4 level buffer and it's a decent spot to grind. It's just, you want to be you don't want to be going in there when everything's yellow to you, because that's just doom. Glad to see you in Kira this morning, Hazel. Thank you. Glad to have you here. Day 2 of all my characters still have gotten nothing, nor have I seen anyone get anything. Yeah, I have the Kodo and I have the Ram already. So the main thing that I would want out of the keg-shaped treasure chest, or whatever it's called, is the new dragon riding customization. And I would say that on a scale of 1 to 10, I want that at about a 3. Which is to say that I would take it, but on the grand scheme of things, it is not going... I don't think I'm going to be upset in any way if the event ends and I don't have it. I think that's a very minor part of my life. It would be an extremely small disappointment to not get it. So I'm kind of weighing out to what extent I want to try. 1900 experience. Destroy the catapults. You just have to get to the catapults. Although those are kind of up a hill. I might... I'm not 31. I'm 30. Might go back there. We can always hold on to that and then come back around to it. Oh, it's a Warlock quest. Oh, no, it's a Wetlands quest. Devourer of Souls is a Warlock quest. Necrosh is a Warlock, and it's confusing. CB, thank you for the 49-month resub. Holy smokes, thank you very much. And I'm not sure if I thanked the series for their 18-month resub. Thank you. I agree. I think I'm forever using the Sark mount skin. Your Voidwalker cannot jump down cliffs. Did the achievement raid run last night? Retail Priest felt weird after spending a few weeks in Wrath. How did it go? You guys get some achievements done? Yeah, I have the Razageth mount skin and I have the Sark mount skin. And I'm pretty chillin' to just use those. Also, I think that once they start letting us dragon ride on a wider variety of different mounts, I'm probably just going to want to dragon ride on random mount number 47, just to be different, you know? I don't know if I'm going to really want to have holiday themed armor. I think it's neat, but I don't think it's going to keep me up at night. Chunk through them all on normal. Oh, nice. That's a lot for one night. Those are tough. Those, we took, I think, 3 separate raid nights worth of chipping away at them to get them all done. We also got stuck in a couple different ones for a while. So, I think... Oh, no. Rest in pieces. Rip and pepperonis. Wish the owl one in 10.2 wasn't Mythic for Ack only. Yeah. No reason to... No, we did them on normal as well. There's no reason to do them on heroic unless it's like... Unless that sounds really fun to somebody. Even ended the raid 30 minutes early? Nice. I think the Rashok Frog one was one of the most infuriating. The trick with that one, which is something that we didn't really end up doing, is if you can pull it at the correct time, the frog jumps on a timer, and the timer has to do with when you engage the fight, or something. Wouldn't his abilities be on a timer? I don't know. There's some... Maybe I'm just making this up. Maybe I'm just... The timing of the frog jumps makes it either impossible or not too bad, because there's nothing, like, sometimes it's just not happening. Like, you're all lined up and the frog jumps at the last second, and there's no, like, he's already chosen his spot for the leap. Even if you could track your character over to the frog, he's not going to update it. So with some timing, it's just impossible. Raid from 8:30 to 11:30, more than enough time to just whip through the whole thing. Nice, good job, guys. I'm going to head over... And I'm gonna take a look at our raptor cave spot because I have 2 gold 58. Gold go up and experience bar go up are kind of my goals right now. I'm not too fussed about looking for places to quest. Eventually I would like to start Duskwood. I think that's next to my list. And these early quests are kind of like 23, 25-ish, 24, 25... So, like, yeah, I could start if I was really careful. I'm gonna give it one more level just because. I'm just gonna give it another one. Kill pygmy venom spiders and then report back. Flabby gave me the spooks. Flabby gave me the maybe I shouldn't go to Duskwood yet. I was asking him about a good level to start Duskwood. And I don't know if he just, like, really doesn't want to see my gnome die or what, but I feel like the answer is always not yet. So I'm gonna grind some spiders, or not spiders, raptors. Failed surprisingly on the Hydra thing because one died carrying a snail. Magmarat snail's a bit of a pain. Stop DPS and the boss to just stand there while the achieve thing's being completed. Yeah. Much easier with the Magma Swim toy. Yeah, I don't know how many people have the Magma Swim toy. I certainly do not have the Magma Swim toy. I remember that coming up when we were doing one of the secrets involved. Well, one of the secret mount things involves swimming into lava. And people were like, Hazel, you just use this toy. And I looked up the toy and I thought, did everybody else grind the Dragon Maw War Cache for this toy drop? Because I missed that memo. I did that a handful of times. It did not drop and I didn't think any further about it. It's just, I feel like it's just not something very many people have. So, let's go this way for now. Had a druid do most of the work on Mag. Yeah, for quite a few of the achievements, I felt like my main job was just to keep the raid alive while other people did the achievements. There were very few that I actually put like personal effort into. I think Skarn, I definitely did some. I held the egg for a little bit on Skarn. I participated in that. But yeah, a lot of the other ones were basically just like somebody else's job. Just get this rare thing. Easy. Do that thing every week. Huh. I was going to say for what, but I guess one answer is for the toy. Sometimes I answer I mean, clearly there's things that drop from it that I don't have, so I guess that could be construed as a reason to farm it. Yay, hardcore. Okay. We're getting somewhere. I need 47,400 experience to get to level 31, which will mostly be a talent point. At 32, it looks as though I can... Here, let's kill a whelp. Maybe I'll get lucky and I'll drop a pet. 32 is going to be... Shadow Ward. Yeah, Shadow Ward. Because I don't really see a good reason to get a new rank of Fear. I have one rank of Fear already, and I almost never use it. Ooh, what's that? Bright Sphere. Held in offhand. 4 int 2 spirit. Oh, I'm going to try and sell that. That's cool. Big Fire, thank you very much for the 48-month resub. Well, I now have to get all 13 of my level 70s through Brewfest Dungeon Transmog. Have fun. You found it. I found the Bright Sphere. Oh, the prediction. That's right. True. Yeah, I can... Oh, did you do the prediction? We got it. Will we die today? Yeah. No, I super invincible. Wonder if 32 is halfway to 47. I don't even want to think about that. That is grim. Oh yeah. Here we go. We're in the spot. Yeah, there's a prediction running now that you can vote on. Thanks, Saga. Heard those dragons are a great gold farm before you're level 40 now. I think I don't have to pay for that on this character because I'm a warlock. Although, what if I want to have a Mechanostrider, you know? Like, I know that I'm going to get a Dreadsteed, but what if I want to have a robot? It's like a robot ostrich. That's awesome. How much gold? How much gold could it be? What amounts cost in hardcore anyway? That's an excellent question. Good news, at 60, the epic warlock one still costs money. That's not necessary. That's not relevant to me. Oh, these are yellow. Interesting. Okay, we'll have to be careful. If I get to 60, that's job done. That is goal achieved. That's the end of that. Since you cannot get the rank 3 discount. Is warlock harder than mage? I think so. Yes. Mage has a lot of great tools for kiting, and mage will do a lot of Mage just seems like they have higher survival rates statistically in Deathlog. You get a lot more of those leveling up. Warlocks do good. You've got good tools, but it seems like a bit of a struggle. It's certainly more of a struggle than my hunter is. Here, Pally, thank you for the 6-month resub. I experienced the panic of almost dying earlier. Pulled a Defies. 2 spawned to me at the same time. Thank goodness there were no casters. Ooh. Scary triple pull. 100 gold at level 40 for riding. Healer's easiest to level up? In retail or in hardcore classic? Because those will be... In retail, basically any of them. It doesn't really matter. Especially if you're just healing dungeons to level. Like if you're queuing into dungeons and healing those. That's going to be basically the same for any of them. It's whatever you like playing. In hardcore. What even are the options? There's Priest, of course, and that one's good. Priests are good. They've got great buffs. You can spec into wand specialization, keep your wand up to date. You're going to do great damage. Horde have shamans and Alliance have paladins. Oh, and then Restored Druids, I guess. I want to say Priest, but I don't know if that's actually true or if that's just me thinking. Doggo ever get itchy skin? Mine are super itchy, don't have fleas, no idea what to do. Not beyond like normal amounts of dog itch. Like you'll scratch itch and then itch will be good. I don't know. I would say if it continues to be a problem next time you're at the vet, I would ask, because there can be different skin conditions or like allergies and stuff like that that might contribute. Some dogs will need to be on certain foods. for skin condition, and that can help as well. It could be something that they're eating, but again, not a vet. Definitely talk to an actual vet. See a shaman. See a doctor. See a druid. I want to level a shaman because I want to experience classic shaman. Played Alliance back in the day, never got to try it. It seems different. It seems very different. Infected when physical damage taken increased by 6. Okay. I need to make sure I don't go too far down this hill because there are dragons. There's elite dragons down that way. And the cave over here that has supposedly maybe some ore, lots of good skinning, decent spot to grind, but I do need to be careful because it's closer to my level than I thought it was. Made a shaman insanely boring. Seemed serious enough, I suppose. I'm sure they would rather that you call. I'm sure they would rather that you call rather than just hope for the best if it's an often enough thing. Mr. Moose found like a rib. He found like a bone outside that I had to take from him that he did not want to not have. I don't understand why there are bones outside, like on the grass by the sidewalk in the city. It seems like the super most unreasonable challenge mode for have your puppy not pick up and try to eat something. You know, like we're getting better at leaving alone recycling and litter and feathers and bark and acorns and all these other things that he shouldn't really have. We're getting much better at that. But there's no world in which Leave It works when he's got like a bone on the ground. Like, come on. It's not fair. Shocking number of chocolate bars or wrappers when walking my dogs. That's the community bone. I had to take a chicken bone from him the other day, which was terrifying because those are not safe for them to chew. They can splinter, and plus he was trying to swallow the whole thing. I was not happy about that. That was a bad time. Imagine having a wand and a staff. Oh, mage having a wand and a staff was a surprise to me. So yeah, 80 gold for the mount, and then maybe a bit of a discount. Plus, what else would you be dealing with? The riding skill training. Am I going to get the riding skill training for free? Cooked bone splinter. It didn't seem like a raw chicken bone. It didn't seem like a raw chicken bone. Although I guess I didn't take it to the lab, you know. Where did he find a chicken bone? Outside. Outside. It's people. There's weird litter out here, man. This city I thought was really clean, and it's cleaner than some places, but it can't be that clean because there was just a chicken bone by the sidewalk. Oh, mine ate raw fish she found at the beach. Was very sick once. Yeah, it was something. So those are like 28, 29. Interesting. I'm gonna re-up my food buff here. They drop raptor eggs, which I should be able to cook into omelets. That's more 6 stam food, so that'll help me replenish my supply. That's a lot of raptor density. I don't know if we're gonna go all the way in there. We'll think about it. I'm gonna use a couple of buffs. I can always grind raptors in front of the cave too, but one of the reasons I wanted to grind in the cave was so I could mine nodes in there. What if it was a full chicken before he found it? I have seen chickens too. I have seen it. Does not every day, but it's, you know, stuff happens. As always, chickens not picking up after themselves. I'm just gonna kind of pull some of them out of the entryway. Because, like, it's decent. How much? I mean, I guess I'm still unrested, so it's not exactly a fair read of experience. Mage's Polymorph Frostnova is so useful. Is that the Wetlands? Yeah, it is. I'm still weighing the wisdom of actually going into the cave versus just grinding stuff from the front of it. Because it's a little close to my level. It's a little... maybe I should be grinding Dragonmount Orcs instead. In kind of this region. Those were going to be more like 26, 27, which is kind of a little better. But it's nice to know that this place is, it's nice to know that this is a reasonable, like reasonably full. I know how to get here. It's got good skinning. That'll be good for making gold. Mine started being obsessed with sniffing slugs. I can't. I gag looking at them. I used to be kind of chill with slugs until I decided to remove one from one of my plants with my hands. I figured it was one of those things that like looks really slimy, but like isn't that bad when you actually touch it. And it turns out, no, they're every bit as bad when you touch it as you think it's going to be. Worse, because it's impossibly hard to get off your hands. I was getting it off my lettuce, and I've not been okay since. Hyperspawns brutal. Yeah. I want this one. If you could come back here. Cause it's a little dense. It's not that bad. I am gonna go do Dragon Ball Works though, I think. I can come back here some other time. The cave's not going anywhere. The raptors aren't going anywhere. Hi, kitty. You want up again? Fancy. Your gnome has a hat. She does have a hat. She's wearing a durable hat of the whale, so it gives me 8 spirit and 8 stam. I'm a big fan of stam gear, especially for casters, because I don't want to tell you that. Well, now I kind of want to try for that tin. I don't want to tell you that Int is a ripoff, but Int's like a tiny bit of a scam. It's going to increase your mana pool size, and it's going to increase your spell crit, and increases the rate at which weapon skills improve, which is kind of funny. Like even a warrior could put Int gear on and then go hit random small mobs to level up their weapon skills faster. But it doesn't actually increase your spell damage, and your mana pool is important until it's not, especially if you're doing all of your filler damage by wanding. It can be quite difficult to actually run out of mana because so much of your damage can come from your wand if your wand's up to date. So at that point, it's basically just spell crit, which is damage, don't get me wrong, that is more, but like, is it worth having over straight stam? Is a tougher thing. Other primaries are better. Like strength is going to be like direct weapon damage, and agi for agi users is like direct damage and crit, range damage, a crit, and then also increases armor and dodge. So that's like a much better deal. It's just int seems like kind of a scam. Why have I'm putting all the wrong curses on this raptor? No hunter leveling today? I thought about it, but I wanted some continuity. I wanted some momentum. I wanted to stick with pushing my personal best. Sweet baby Kira. I think for hardcore in particular, stam is incredibly valuable because it's going to buy you time, which is usually what you need. That's usually what you need. Holocron Coder, thank you very much for the 12-month resub. Happy 1 year. A year! Indeed. Strength, stam, lock, staffing, everything. You excited about being a gnome again in retail? Yeah. Close calls in this character? I had a spicy one yesterday. I was doing the Fangor quest. On in Eastern Red Ridge, and those I didn't really understand at the time that Fangor was going to be immune to a bunch of my stuff. Plus, his caster friend that he pulled with resisted my Curse of Tongues like 3 times running. So I wasted a ton of time just trying to get like dots up, and it got a little hairy, but we got out of there. I also did a cave escort quest, or cave protect the NPC style quest, in Stone Talon inside of the Kobold Mine that was bananas hard for the level that it was, and that was also very risky. Both of those situations involved Fell Domination resummoning the Voidwalker. I made a clip. I saved a highlight rather of the Kobold Cave quest to my Twitch channel. I've been meaning to stick it on YouTube. I think that cave has 4 chest spawn points. Yeah, I think I'm gonna come back to that cave in another like level or 2. I think that it's all still yellow to me, and I think it's fine, but I'm gonna give it like 1 more level. I think it'll be better in 1 more. Hellgrave, do you want to? Thank you. In this economy, they seemed all right, but especially if the rare is on top of me and I've got a multi-pull, I don't think I would die, but I think it would be stressful. But hey, we've used our rested, but we're 15% into this level already, so that's nice. I'm gonna go poke around in the Dragon Malt Orcs. I'm gonna go see if I like that any better. They do net, which is annoying, but they should be a bit lower level. What does spirit refer to? There's a direct stat called spirit that increases your health and mana regen rate. It seems to be, it doesn't really give you throughput at all. But, I don't know, maybe priests have some decent interaction with it. Whether the character had lots of courage. It used to be a prime, like a really key healer stat, because having spirit stacked would help your mana longevity in a fight, because it was both in health, in combat and out of combat health and mana regen. So having more spirit would help you regen more mana in combat. And you used to have to get to certain amounts of it to even think about having enough mana to make it through like a raid fight. But these days, not such a consideration. Wrath Classic Spirit gives a lock spell power indirectly. Oh. Okay. Kind of loop back around that one. Although I'm fine. What if you just drop the pet? Just drop the pet. Pawn wants me to take Spirit and all gear as a shadow kind of priest. Yeah, I don't know much about stat priorities in Wrath Classic. Oh, I'm glad you're having fun with it though. It sounds cool. Kitty, are you getting warm? I know the temperature's been dropping a lot. It is breezy in here. Oh, that's a lot of whelps. That's a lot of whelps. Actually, go for this one. And then that one's lost, so that one I can't. For whatever reason, I can put Immolate up, but not my other two dots. And then hit that one. And then I'll put the real dots up over here. And then I'll just wand this one the rest of the way down. Because, you know, grinding is grinding. And what if we get a pet, you know? Just don't do the math of how many mobs you have to kill to get to the next level. Just don't think about it too much. Wrath Classic puts me off. People care so much about gear score for the dungeon raid catch-up system. They want raid level gear to do catch-up stuff. That is kind of a theme with WoW sometimes. I can't really fault people for that behavior when you have this many people, and it's kind of a function of pug availability. Is that, of course, you're going to look for the best, like if you can get pugs that are geared to that level and it's going to make your run easier, you have no incentive to not do so. There's no reason for you to take somebody who needs the catch-up gear to the group. Retail WoW has that problem as well. There's not an awesome solution for it. Today, we have more raid testing. We get to see 2 more bosses in Amirdrasil. It'll be fun. Yeah, not gonna worry about that. Let's head up the hill. See how we do here. Raid testing's been going really well so far, and I'm happy. I must be a bit nervous about it because I had a weird dream, like a nightmare about pugging. It wasn't a raid in the dream, but it was, I had a dream I was pugging keys. And I was in like a Discord for the Mythic Plus pug, and I was healing on my priest, and I was feeling like a little bit unsure of myself because I hadn't played it in a while, but I thought I was doing okay. But in the Discord, I don't know if they didn't know that I was in voice or what, but they were talking about me like I wasn't there and kind of complaining a bit about my gameplay. And I remember thinking, oh, all right, well, I'm just gonna prove them wrong. I'm just gonna do my best and prove them wrong. And then we get into another key. The countdown goes down, the key starts, and I realize I'm still in my shadow spec. And I'm like typing in party chat being like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I have to zone out and respec. And the person's in voice chat just being like, oh man. I remember in the dream the thought distinctly crossed my mind of what if I just turned off the whole computer and A, pretend to DC, and secondly, just like go touch grass like it's a pug, and this is so embarrassing. Anxiety dreams too real. Favorite is pugging into stuff. You're 440 plus, friends 400. They invite you and kick your friend. Reason you queue together. Yeah, I've had that happen too. And then they're like all surprised whenever the geared friend leaves. I think I've lived that dream IRL. At least it was just a dream. I've experienced that. I think I have too. I've certainly started keys in the wrong spec. I don't know if I've done it in a pug. I think I've had those two separate halves of the dream happen to me in separate situations. I've started keys in the wrong spec in my regular group, and I've had pugs. I wouldn't say flame me because it's been a long time since anybody's been actually like disrespectful, at least in my earshot. But you know. Have some criticisms that maybe hit a little close to home about my gameplay that were a good point. Never joined a Discord for a pug. I would do it for high-rated stuff. So I remember a couple of seasons ago, and this was typically true for PvP as well. Like I would do no voice pugs for lower-rated stuff, but if you get into like a higher tier group, then I would usually join the Discord, even if it's total strangers. But nerve-wracking for sure. Makes me uncomfortable. Not something I prefer to do. Dragon Maw Bone Warder. Immolate Summon Skeleton Curse of Weakness. Interesting. Okay. Very high, like 22 plus. Yeah, I joined some Discords. It was Shadowlands, and I was doing my first high keys. I don't remember what qualified as a high key to me at the time, but I was healing on my priest in Shadowlands. And I was pugging at like an end of the season for something or another. And I remember like joining a Discord and doing it on stream for something. It was a Spires of Ascension, that Bastion one with that one boss at the end. Well, wow, great description, Hazel. You know that dungeon that's got like the boss in it? You know the game that you play where you're like defeating enemies with magic? Oy, all right. So I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm not getting within range of that thing. Yeah, that doesn't look so good. That does not look so good. Maybe we just kind of do a little grinding around the edges. Holy mob density. Yeah. Plus all these pets. Oh, no. That's a tab target. That's a tab target. I don't think we're going to worry about that. I love insert dungeon name here. Remember SOA fondly because I had a few Mythic Plus milestones there. I had a Mythic Plus run in SOA. And it was some kind of a tyrannical week that I guess was like on a bit of a stretch difficulty for my group and myself. And I think it was actually not a pug, but it was like for a while I was doing so much Mythic Plus. I was running with my guild and I was also running with like a group from another guild. I had 2 regular Mythic Plus crews running at the same time, which I later discovered was too much for me. But we were doing really good. It was like a higher key than normal. Everything was going well. Everybody was playing really tight. It was going great. We get to the last boss up on the platform that has like the spears and the bring back the orbs phase and everything. And she has like the run through. And we just wipe like 10 times. Like we had a lot of timer left. We ran the whole timer out and then we're like another 15 minutes over time. Because we just could not keep it together for that fight. And like every time it was just like so demoralizing because it had been such a good run up to that point. But I got so much practice on that boss that for the rest of the expansion, I was extremely tense fighting it because I had a mortal fear of getting run through because on that one difficulty, it was a one shot. And then also I had a lot more practice on it. It went a lot better. There's nothing like one of those completely horrific, drag yourself through it runs to really teach you a dungeon or a boss for like the rest of the expansion. Also did some of that time some spicier difficulties. Devos was brutal and tyrannical. Yeah, it was just so unforgiving. There was no wiggle room at all. Like if you were in front of the run through, if you did not get into the thing in time, and they weren't hard mechanics, but there was enough going on that was kind of distracting. And I had my fair share of deaths, and then I would finally keep it together, and then somebody else would die, and it was a big mess. Oh, I used to get major anxiety about getting the arrow in Necrotic Wake. Tried to carry a friend through a 20 Jade Serpent, had like 125 deaths, but we did it. My Dragonflight one was probably this season We did an early, I mean, there was a couple of them, but we did like an early Vortex Pinnacle that was like well above our pay grade, and it was tyrannical. And the last boss had so much party damage. This was pre-nerfs. The last boss had so much like raid damage from the stars, and then it would be layered on top of the chain lightning, which even if you got out, still does a decent chunk of damage to the initial target. So we eventually, like, and I was on Evoker, and I was like really trying to figure out Preservation Evoker. Like, I'd been playing it for a bit and it had been going fine, but that was like a new level of you must do huge HPS and you have to do it now. Like it was a really, really tight fight at that time. And I just remember I was like, because we had wiped so many times. The timer was long gone. We were just trying to finish it just to prove we could, really. My poor raid leader was supposed to go to bed like an hour before. He had work in the morning. He had like a partner waiting for him. And we're just like on this last boss trying desperately to get everybody through it. And what it eventually turned out was that we could only kill it if there were specific instances of that chain lightning where our Dev Evoker did not get targeted, because if our Dev Evoker got targeted in those, he would die. No, like, they're like through all defensives. He would use them all. He was a great player. He is still. He's alive. He's fine. But like, it was just the most nuts so tight thing that the only way we could clear it was if we got the good RNG to get the right targets at the right time for those overlap chain lightnings, because they were so ugly. But then we did it. We finished it. Rip the Devoker. Holy moly. But I felt better about that fight ever since, because I had like a flowchart. I had, okay, for this first star, I'm going to use this cooldown. For the second star, I'm using this stasis. I line it up like this. If I get my Verdant Embrace buff going here, then I can prep this one here. We put 2 echoes out over here, and then we start the stasis with boom, 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 boom. Like, it was mapped out. And I felt much better about that dungeon for forevermore, because I had struggled through it that one night. Keys build character. They make you better. They make you a much better player. They're miserable to do at the time, because nothing like wiping repeatedly, even when you're trying your best, will crush your ego quite as fast, or at least for me. I hate it when I sit up straight and I actually focus and I try my very hardest and I still feel like I can't do it, or like I'll still make mistakes that I knew I was at risk of and I tried really hard not to and I make them anyways. Devastating. But if you can get through them, those are the things that really stretch you and make you grow as a player and turn you into like a better healer or whatnot. This is a really dangerous node to get. It's gold though. It's gold. I'm not gonna be able to get back up here. What's my plan for getting down? But it's gold. I can't even mine it. I can't even mine it. It's red mining skill. I'm turning around. I'm not falling for it. You can't get me. You can't make me. We're not doing it. Remember that? I had a terrible experience. We're off VP for a very long time after that. It's always very vindicating after you have one of those things to then see the waves of nerfs that come in over weeks and weeks of them being like, you know what? That thing is unreasonable. Let's nerf it by 50% or something crazy. Like, they took the nerf bat to Vortex Pinnacle pretty substantially after that. The one that used to get me that I was surprised it took them so long to nerf was the bleed from the Sethrak looking boss in Uldaman. That thing was overtuned as all heck for like a really long time. And they kept doing like nerf wave over nerf wave to other problem points in the dungeons. And I just remember thinking, what, do you think this is reasonable? It goes out so often. It goes out so often. Don't resist. Excuse me. Here. You pick up this one. I will take care of this. And it hit so hard. And as a bleed, most people can't even get rid of that unless you have like Dark Iron Dwarf racials. Evokers can do it sometimes, and I was lucky I happened to be an Evoker. But it was just such a gnarly bleed. And it was in there for ages. They did eventually sort it out. They did eventually nerf it, but holy moly, that was... I remember doing that thinking, there's no way this is right. This isn't okay. You could compare it directly to other mechanics that filled a similar place in their fights. And it was just doing outsized amounts of damage. It was either it hurt too bad or it was too often. You had to kind of pick one. Uldaman, still my least favorite season 2. Can't stand it on either Forge or Tyrannical. It's too long for me. I'm impatient, short attention span. It's too long for me. I'll do it, but whenever I get into a group for it, I'm just kind of like, oh, all right, here we go. Off and away. 5 bosses too much. Yeah. Advice for getting over the shame of having a bad personal raid week. Oh, I feel ya. I think that Dame Von's got great advice. You set a challenge for yourself. You get back in there. You look for wins that you can do. I always had to just kind of play more to shake it off. Like, give myself a night off if I'm just not feeling good. You know, no reason to play if you're not having fun. You don't want to get super tilted, but you are not your gameplay, and you're gonna be all right. You just got to shake it off. The fact that you're feeling this way about it sets you ahead of an awful lot of people that will just play like chaotic gremlins and have no idea, you know. And I mean, if you're having fun, you're clearing your content, that's great. But like, you're knowing that you want to do better is a huge thing. I like to compare logs to similar people, my own item level skill. That one's good until it's not. I like using logs a lot. I will help try and find things that I can work on. Sometimes they can help put your play into perspective, especially if it's just like a class balance thing. And you actually maybe are doing well for your item level or for your class. But every now and then I had just a bad parse, and it's bad no matter how you slice the bread, and I just use the log to beat myself over the head with it, and that's no good. That's not useful or constructive or fun or healthy. So logs can be good, but sometimes they're just tools for your own self-destruction. Compare logs week to week, see any and all improvement. Which is good if there is some. Sometimes I just regress. Sometimes I just have an off week. Sometimes it's just not happening, man. Feels like a ceiling of times. Pick yourself back up, try again. Yeah. The only thing that really reduces my anxiety in the long term in any sphere of life is exposure. Just doing more of whatever the thing was, which sucks and I hate it. But whenever I let myself chicken out of stuff that makes me anxious, it just makes my world a little bit smaller every time I do it. And if you get in the habit of doing that, you're going to wake up one day and find yourself living an extremely limited life where you don't do very much. I know. Trust me. I don't always take my own advice, but sometimes you gotta get back on the horse. Trying to learn Fire Mage for possible 10.2 main. Sat in front of target dummies for over an hour last night. It's great that you know a path to helping anxiety. Yeah, sometimes I wish knowing was enough. People say knowing is half the battle, and sometimes I just want knowing to be the whole battle, you know? Sometimes I just don't want to do the work. Sometimes I'm tired. I'm just being human. Very much prefer staying inside my house playing games, despise going out places. Sometimes that manifests not going to school. It can be a problem that can get worse, but I totally understand the feeling. I feel like that a lot of the time. I find that I can sometimes track my tendency like that with other things that are stressing me out. Like if I am sleeping poorly or not taking good care of myself, like maybe I'm not exercising or maybe I'm not eating very well. Those things are kind of chicken and egg with stress sometimes, and they can lead to more wanting to isolate myself, which can, again, chicken and egg to the rest of the stuff. So sometimes you can look at all the different things that don't feel great and just pick one to maybe try. Don't try and fix all of it once, unless you're a super person. But it doesn't have to be the going out. Sometimes you can fix some other things that then help you feel better to make you more likely to want to go out. I could tell that I wasn't doing great recently because I would have like really grouchy thoughts about completely normal stuff. You see normal people outside being happy, living their lives, not bothering anybody, and I'm just like, ugh. just wanting everybody else to go away, even when they're not bothering me or interacting with me in any way. And I recognize that that's not healthy, but sometimes that's where I end up. I can hear my puppy dog. He's drinking his water. Sometimes he's thirsty. And I know he's a dog, that happens. But sometimes he'll drink like the entire bowl of water. And it's a pretty decent sized bowl. And he'll just like drink the whole thing. He's not much of a water grazer. He's a water binger. It's always available. I refill the bowl. What do I want to pull over here? Maybe this one. How are we doing grinding wise? We have 27% of this level done. They're dropping mostly just silver with the occasional piece of silk. I got a scroll of protection a little while ago. That was good. End up with a diagnosis. Yeah. One of my fears or anxieties, and I'm not defending this as a good way to think. One of the things that would concern me about seeing a professional and finding some labels for XYZ reason why I am the way that I am is that I would then potentially lose my desire to work on it, I guess. I don't want to, like, don't get me wrong, I want to accept myself, and that's great, but I don't want to lean on it to the point where I'm not, you know, stretching myself to work towards the life that I want to have. I don't want to just assume that, oh, well, I'm fundamentally this way, which means I can't do that thing, or I can't, it's hard for me, and therefore I can't. I'm afraid of kind of writing myself into that box, even subconsciously. I'm also horrifically afraid of mental diagnoses are often a lot more, I don't want to say flexible or fluid, but you can see 3 different doctors for a mental thing and come away with 3 different diagnoses that are going to, like, a lot of them share a lot of symptoms. And they have sometimes very different tacks. And the treatment that you're going to get is going to depend on who you see. You know, it's not like having a specific virus where they run a test and they're like, well, you have this thing. It's all symptom based and a lot of the symptoms overlap. So, like, I just don't have a lot of faith left. I don't have a whole lot of trust in the whole thing. I've had some good mental health care in my life, and I've had some mental health care in my life that was not helpful. And when you have to really go out of your way, and both organizationally and anxiety-wise and financially, to even think about getting therapy, and then it's like a gamble as to whether or not it's even going to help, is just kind of a tough proposition to undertake, you know, especially for somebody who's part of the things that you need help with are an inability to get help, right? Like, I don't know. It's hard. I'm pulling this one back. And some advice that is very helpful for some people is wildly inappropriate for other people. And I just don't, I guess I just don't trust to I don't know. I feel like if anyone knows what I need, it's going to be me. But, no. I don't know. I don't think my problem is not knowing what I need. I think my problem is knowing what I need and not wanting to do it. Hard to find the right therapist sometimes. Yeah. I've gotten a couple of good greens here. We have a one-hander of the bear. We have a leather tunic of the monkey. That's got to be worth something. It says 30 silver, and that would surprise me. It's a leather tunic of the monkey. That's like primo hunter gear. Or rogues. And some melon juice. Oh yeah, I never tried to sell that anti-venom manual. I never gave that a go. Let's see if that's worth anything. The other thing I think that would concern me about the process of talking to somebody is that a lot of it's, you know, like you're giving self-evaluations, right? You're self-reporting on your own tendencies and your own habits and your own history and your own feelings. And for someone that sometimes has a difficult time understanding and articulating the feelings as I'm having them, and also has a hard time with memory, I know that human beings have a strong tendency to want to make things into like a story. They want things to fit a narrative. It's not like a liar thing. It's just kind of like a natural human tendency. If you want to make things make sense and you want to make things kind of fit with each other. And if someone's asking me about like the way I have been or the way or things that have happened to me or whatnot, I am not confident. I don't even know what, like I have no faith in the accuracy of my own self-reporting, basically. Like especially with how much I know from online research about various different types of neurodivergency and how they present. How can I tell whether or not I'm actually presenting as those things, or if I'm just adopting those things as a means to explain other tendencies that I have, even subconsciously, right? Like, how many people can say how you look through like a list of symptoms and you're like, well, this one and this one for sure. I don't know about this one, but now that I think of it, and then is that actual self-reporting, or is that your brain really wanting to have answers for why you're in so much pain? So it comes up with things or reinterprets your memories, right? Like, I don't know what you're supposed to do about that. Like, I have no answers about my childhood, or just about the way that I've been functioning for a long time, because you could present it in a whole bunch of different ways that would probably come up with different answers, and all of them are arguably true or would fit with my memories and my experience. I don't know. Stressful. The process also sometimes talk to people that know you well to check for bias and self-reporting, but everybody's going to have a bias. Even like a professional that doesn't know you and doesn't have any preconceived notions is going to have their own biases just from their own life experiences and the patients that they see and other stories. Like, everybody's projecting. So, like, how are you supposed to figure anything out? I think that I'm so frustrated with that whole concept that I would rather try to figure out strategies that just help me feel better in the immediate now and help me function better currently, because it's less of a headache than trying to figure out why, Doesn't matter what happened to puncture the car tire if I can just change it. Assuming that I'm not driving there anymore. Did I start another? No. I started a second one this is my second Warlock. My first Warlock died at level 15 to Trogs and Loch Madan. But this is the character I've been playing since September the 8th. I think we started this one on my birthday. Give you the tools to be able to make those changes if needed. I suppose so. I just can't think of anything that could possibly be said to me that hasn't already been recommended or said or tried. I have been through so many solutions that I don't know. It's all been said. I think that the search for more answers is redundant at this point. But I'm also cranky and frustrated and not a good role model, and I still can't mine that gold. Turn around, climb down that hill, get out of there. Have you been doing retail stuff? I logged on yesterday and I did Core and Direbrew on all my characters and I didn't get anything, and I was kind of not bummed out that I didn't get anything, but I was kind of underwhelmed with the whole process. It felt very slot machine. The fight was extremely easy. It didn't matter that I didn't know what was going on with any of my characters. The queue times were pretty short, which was good unless you were DPS, and it was, I got a bunch of Direbrew tokens that are on a bunch of characters. Welcome. You talk about these things. Helpful to know others are also going through these same kind of things. That's good. That's one of the reasons why I tell myself to not worry so much about sharing that sort of thing. I would caution anybody, though, that any perspective is just one person's, and again, I'm not a professional, so it's nice to have other points of view, but please do not base your own life choices on me. This is hardcore. Anything we can do as internet strangers to help support you. That's very sweet. I'm just glad that you're here and that you guys really listen without judgment, which I appreciate. I think that's all I need. Soundboard. Yeah. You guys do a good job of listening without offering a lot of advice, which is helpful to me. I've had enough advice. I've had enough advice about that sort of thing, and I have a horrific time taking it from people, from basically anybody, because I feel like nobody understands, even though people obviously understand, but everybody has their own cocktail of like what their problem is or what their deal is, right? So some things may overlap and other things don't, and I am just not in a very receptive mood for advice, so just listening's great. Send internet hug. Do exactly what Hazel says. Oh man, I'm doing all right. I do better than some people and worse than others, and that's okay. I think that overexposure to internet spaces has made me more distrustful of healthcare, though, which is not great. That's not a great vibe. It's I think like I had some existing hangups about not so much therapy, but mental health medication from some experiences in my youth. So I already had pre-existing hangups there. I can't completely blame the internet for that. But I've read a few too many stories, I think, on various forums and spaces for people to discuss things to make me feel great about seeking out help again. I think I've just heard a few too many horror stories. And that's going to happen anytime you go on the internet. You know, like you want to get your car fixed somewhere, and you go and you read all the Google reviews for all the car review shops, and, you know, 8 people are going to say it was great. And then one person is going to say they broke my car and, you know, like stole my dog and went on my vacation with my wife. And, you know, every single place is going to have something like that because that's just how the internet hashes out. And then, you know, you end up not taking your car in and then you end up walking to work. My metaphors are getting away from me. Chick Swag had a 3-month resub a few minutes ago. Thank you so much. Also, Illumina with a brand new sub. Appreciate it. Tin vein. It says down. How far down are we talking here? You know what? I also need a health stone, and then maybe like a replaced soul shard would be kind of good. Oh, Kitty's off on her meow. She got off my lap and she went to the front room. She's did the thing again. It kind of makes me feel nice because it's sort of like a... Whenever she meows, it makes me happy because for a few weeks when we first brought the dog home, she did not make a sound. I think she was in stealth mode. And I think she's decided that the dog is no longer a threat to her and she can make whatever sounds she wants. How are we doing experience-wise? We've got 34%. It's going okay. We've got some yellow mobs here. Can I realistically and reasonably and safely start doing double pulls? Let's try that. Let me throw 2 dots on the skelly. I haven't been doing my finest pet management on my Warlock. So I'm certainly... I've lost some aggro. He's gonna expire. Yeah. I just need to keep an eye on my health. I'm not so much worried about my mana pool. Oh, thanks. Oh, oh yeah, I got a double fort buff. We like that. But I do know that grinding goes faster if I can get into a safe rhythm of double pulls. I think it's just tough with these pets. I don't think I would do it with all these pet summons running around. Yeah, maybe I should find a different place to farm just because of those guys. Let's go back to the raptor cave. I'm turning around. Going back north. It was good leather farming. And I think in hindsight, just as reasonable as the orcs. Scary area to pull big nets could be GG. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna turn around. How much bag space do we have? 30 bag slots. That's plenty. I don't need to go vendor. Although we can sell... Yeah, there's a vendor right over here. Alright. I do have a hardcore hunter. She's not dead. She is patiently sitting in the inn in Menethil Harbor at level 26, accumulating rested. I thought about kind of switching onto her for a while at 30, but now I've kind of pushed that threshold back to 40. I would love to get to a level in hardcore where I can ride a mount. So I'd love to see if I can get my Warlock up to 40. I also want to remind myself, I want to look at those stats again. So for a Warlock, your chance of reaching level 30 from 1 is 3.4%, and that falls to 1% for level 40. So I want to be one of the 1%. I want to make it to 40. Potions and herbs. Hello. Potential customer. What do I want to sell? Light heights. Does he have a fireplace? Or like an oven or like a hot pot? Nothing? Okay. And then these ones. Whelp scale. Yeah, okay. There we go. 39 back slots. That's better. Make an alt to bank your gold. I could, but I feel like that would take some of the impact away from my death. If I die, I want it to hurt. You know? Besides, I feel like if I remove my gold from this character, I will be less inclined to spend it to improve her own gear, because if I don't see it, I'll kind of forget that I have it. And I would like to, for the best possible odds of getting fully leveled, I want to keep reinvesting the gold that she makes into buying greens and buying, you know, armor kits and buying consumables, and I won't do that if I don't have the gold on her. So I'm gonna make my mistake. Bank alts are a good idea, though. I recognize that I am being a bit stubborn and unwise by not doing one. I'm racking my brain for another conversation topic to start. I'm fishing. I'm digging deep. What else do I got? I've been watching the new season of Black Mirror, and I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm 3 episodes deep, but the last 2 have both given me, like, nightmares. I have really lost my threshold of watching spooky things. I used to, when I was younger, watch more, not horror. I've never liked horror, but like thrillers and crime shows that included violence. And I, at some point in the last 3 years, have totally lost my taste for it. Even like not super, you know, shocking gore, but just stories that include like murders. Especially it gets me up at night, you know, like, ugh, I can't do it anymore. Creepy than spooky? Yes, but I'm sharing that it's upsetting lately. Big scary monster movies like Godzilla, can't stand slasher Freddy Krueger. Start this journey again. New space one. Yeah, that was the one I just watched last night. It was a long burn. And it was an interesting story, but just even though they didn't film them in a gratuitously violent way, but the 2 separate violent incidents that happened in the episode just got to me. Even when something's not played for creepiness or spookiness, and it's just like a lot of death, it's still just kind of... Squid Game kind of messed me up for a long time, and that's not necessarily a horror show. Avoid those, watch happy things, keeps me in a better mood. Yeah. But I like Black Mirror, and I want to watch the rest of it. I'm hoping that there's less murder. It's a spooky show, though, but, you know. Squid Game was infuriating. I enjoyed it, but it just stuck with me. It just stuck with me. Got hooked on it. Absolutely hated the message of the show. It's probably a good sign I need to spend less time watching and more just go go outside, take puppy outside, play with puppy in grass, have a nice time. Too much of an optimist for super dystopian stuff? Yeah. Yeah, I have a tendency to get very nihilistic and a bit depressed if I'm not doing super well, and stuff like that can exacerbate that quite a bit. Kind of put you in a bad spiral. Fishing for a happy anecdote. I had avocado with breakfast this morning, and it was really tasty. It was very good. Progress in the BG3 situation? Oh, no. My plan is to pick that up in like 2 to 3 years whenever I have a gap in games to play and or it goes on sale. I would not expect to hear anything from me from that until like 2025 or later. Happy to be anecdote. Hubby picking up kebabs for us. Nice. Gonna go for a Mexican tomorrow night. There will surely be avocado. What else? I did water change aquarium yesterday. Fishy's doing good. Fishy's looking good. So happy it's fall. Really nice breakfast is a banana, some honey roasted peanut butter to pair with it. Not the best for you. I like to think of food being good or bad for me as on a spectrum. You throw that on like a really whole grain, whole wheat harvest bread, and I'm considering that a good breakfast. Theme or a place you'd like for the next expansion? I know it's not very game of me, but honestly, not really. It would be disingenuous of me to pretend to be excited about any particular theme or place. I like playing the game. I like playing the game with friends. The setting is very, very much a non-issue to me. I like it when it's bright. I like it when it's colorful. I like Dragonflight more than the Maw, but the actual themes it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna go apple picking this weekend. Can't go back from honey roasted peanut butter. Oh, is this like a specific thing? I thought there was like honey and then peanut butter, and I guess I just didn't really, my brain edited out the roasted word because I didn't know what to do with it. McDonald's bad for tummy, good for soul. I had Dairy Queen last night. I'm in no position to judge. I mean, I'm never in a position to judge anybody, but especially not. I like fast food every once in a while, but I usually will feel pretty gross after. And once in a while it's worth it, but I can't do it super often or else I start to feel just like physically awful. But now that a handful of fast food places will do like an Impossible Burger, I'm all about that. Stickers, Blizzards. Favorite go-to fast food meal? Honestly, Burger King does an Impossible Whopper, and I'm not here to say no. And then I like milkshakes, so sometimes I'll get a milkshake too, but I can't have it with the burger, otherwise I'll die, so I'll put it in like the fridge or freezer and then go back to it later. Fat Burger also does an Impossible Burger, and that's quite good. That's quite good too. That one's like more substantial though. That's like after a full fishing day and a hike when you're like at a calorie deficit kind of meal. Never had anything other than ice cream from DQ. I got fries from there once. I was like walking somewhere and I walked by a DQ and I was like, we're getting fries. And I went in and I ordered just like a small fry and I walked and ate fries and I felt 14 again. This was like last year. It was not that long ago. Future self is thanking you when you get the milkshake. Yeah. I can't do huge quantities of ice cream or milkshakes. I can't do like big ones, but a little bit of it's like really good. And I like all the flavors. It's hard to pick. I rotate. The only one I won't really do is banana, but like chocolate good, vanilla good, strawberry good. UK, the fries they do super thick, no shoestring fries. I like that a lot. Oh, you like the thick fries. Oh. Fish and chips places will do those proper like steak cut fries that are like actually done nicely. But I like fish and chips a lot. If you can find like a good fish and chips joint. Big fry man myself. I like shoestring fries. There's a fast food establishment in Oregon called Burgerville that does like seasonal fries, and they would do like a truffle aioli shoestring fry situation. And they were really good, but they were really salty, like even saltier than normal amounts of fast food fries. So I would enjoy them thoroughly, and then I would regret it thoroughly. Seasoned curly fries, yeah, delicious, but I find that I really like fries when they're super salty, but then I am in pain. Deposits in the auction house, you'll get them back if your item sells. If it does not sell, it's forfeit. You'll get it back with the sale price, I believe, anyway. Which Jack in the Box is where I live. R.I.P. I've been in for 2 whole days running, so you know I'm a changed woman. For 2 whole days running, I've been writing down just a vague idea of what to have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, like first thing in the morning. And it helps an awful lot to have put like 10 seconds of thought into dinner in the morning. Makes it a lot easier to actually do something. Local place here that has beer battered truffle fries. Whoa. Beer battered fries sounds decadent. Sometimes earbud uncomfy. Pre-planning the whole month. It's made life so much easier. It's one of those things that whenever I do it, I'm like, this was great. This was super easy. How come I don't do this all the time? And then I fall off the truck of doing it, and then I like forget for a year. And then sometimes I'm just feeling like I don't want to think about the future. I have this problem where I'll try to hold my plans in my head and then they fall out of my head, and then I get stressed because you're trying to hold on to them and they're just like dribbling through your fingers. And then somebody says something completely innocuous to you like, hey, are we doing anything on Thursday? And you're like, And the solution is very simple. The solution is write it down. Write down the stuff you're holding in your head fingers. Write down what you're doing on any given day of the week. Just don't try to hold it in your brain if your brain's leaking. Or just in general, use paper. It's great. You don't even have to use a phone if phones fracture you. Just write it down. It's not hard, but like sometimes it is hard. I like paper. I like incentive stickers. I buy stickers that like a kindergarten teacher might buy to give to their students, and then I put them in my little list whenever I finish like a list of, or I do something that I've been putting off. I earned a lot of stickers around tax season. Trying to follow your guide for a less crazy effort speed set. BFA stuff seems tough. It is. That's the hardest part. You can get unlucky, and it's easier to have a friend help with it now. I don't remember what changed, but I haven't redone it since the changes. How are we doing leather-wise? I have 4 heavy leather, 188. 32 medium leather. What's over here? I don't want to go too far that way, because that's going to be like... I don't want to go too far that way. That's going to be Dark Iron Dwarves eventually. I want a new Scroll of Protection, and I want a new food buff. Yeah, the BFA gear that I farmed for the speed set was from Dungeons. I never did any raid gear from it, I don't think. Oh, dragon. Dragon? Dinosaur. You know Maximilian of Northshire and Engro Crater that, like, confuses dragons with dinosaurs? Me. All the time. In my defense, in real life, I've never seen a dragon or a dinosaur, and they do share a lot of characteristics, so interchangeable. Fight me. Do time walking sets interest you at all? Not so much, no. My friend has tried to get me into those a number of times because he's super into it. He'll put together an amazing time walking set, and he will smash through time walking dungeons, and people in chat are just like people in the party in chat are just in awe of like, what are you doing? How did you do that? He just like blows up bosses in 5 globals. I am allergic to time walking. I don't know what my problem with it is, but I don't like doing time walking, so I mostly just sit that out. I don't know what my problem is. That's the curious part. I don't know what my problem is. Maybe it's just arbitrary. Maybe every once in a while I decide I haven't been contrary enough and I just pick something random to have a problem with. It doesn't sound true. It sounds funny. Big teeth. Yeah, I wouldn't know about the trick. I haven't done it. The Time Walking Discord has spreadsheets with all the info. I'm going in this cave. It could be a mistake. We'll find. This wand's pretty good. My Starfaller. I'm planning to use this for quite a few levels. We spent 5 gold on it. And I'm gonna get my money's worth. What time is it? 10:17. Yeah, so we've got some good grinding to do. We are 41%, so we are making progress in this level. The thing I'm gonna have to remember is just that any progress is progress. I need to not worry about going too slow. There's no such thing as too slow. Any bar go up is good. I may end a little earlier than normal today just to give myself a nice big buffer after stream and before raid testing to make sure I can like take the dog out, not feel rushed taking the dog out, because there's nothing worse than being in a hurry when you have a puppy you're trying to go somewhere. Have some lunch, set up for recording, that kind of thing. Oh, so there's the rare. I'm gonna set a marker on her. The only thing they do is debuff. The rare spawns calls for help. Yeah. Yeah, I was a bit nervous about being in here with respawns, but it doesn't seem likely that I would get more than like 3 tops at a time, and I think I can handle 3. I think 4 would be danger. Yeah, I would like to kill it. I'm just, I'm gonna clear out that area because that rare will spawn call for help when it gets low, and if I haven't cleared it pretty thoroughly, then it's gonna be trouble. I have too many hours in this. I'm starting to forget that death can happen. Death is real. I don't stream raid testing. The group leader does, though. OTB Dave on Twitch will stream raid testing. I'll be in that group. I don't talk in Discord if I can avoid it, but the raid testing is streamed. I record it privately for use in raid guides. Yeah, even with these mobs being at this level, I like this spot better than the orcs. It's faster. Hope they have a good reason Smolderon's evil. New level 60. There's also a number of chest spawn points in this cave that I would like to look into. But I'm not in a particular hurry. Always nice to have an escape plan. Yeah. I do, if it comes to it, I can sack and I have a sprint pot. I'm carrying around a pair of swiftness potions. So at any time, if I really want to, I can cut my Voidwalker, put a big shield on myself, and book it. So those two might pull together. Yep. So you pick that up. Pick that up. We're gonna start dotting. So it's blue. Does that mean immune? Fangor was blue too. No, not immune. Alright. That one's lower, so I'm gonna pull that one myself. And then we'll find out pretty shortly if there's anything else in range of her call. I'm not redotting, I'm just gonna wand. Nope, we're good. Nice and easy. Blue just means your blueberry has threat? No. It's gotta be something else. Oh, Jurassic wrist guards. Strength Agi leather. Green means my Voidwalker has threat. Brain Caves Hearthstone is a very attractive option whenever I go into caves. Oh, I see a chest. I see. Also, silver. I need it. I need it. Gimme. Didn't know you like WoW Classic. To be fair, I didn't know I liked WoW Classic either until Hardcore came out. I had some fun when it launched, and I had some fun with Season of Mastery, but I always tapped out around level like 20 something, if that. So this is a pretty big change for me to have put this much time in. I'm level 30. This is my highest level character. I've never made it this far before. And I want the silver. Blue because of the blue marker? Here, let me try that. It's got to be some function of threat plates. Because that's the nameplate add-on. Oh, there is a lot of ore in this cave. Although one of them is gold. It is because of the blue marker. Interesting. I didn't know that. Thanks. Kitty, you coming back? Alright. We need the silver. I've managed to level my mining without ever smelting. I've never smelted anything. Oh, just 2 pieces. I guess I can just do labs. Oh yeah, there was a chest I was going for. That's right. Funny how into hardcore you are now. Before you tried it, gave off such a meh impression of it. I think it's hard to give off a excited impression for something that you haven't tried yet, though. Maybe just for me. Have you made use of pings in retail WoW yet? I've seen people sending pings. I don't know that I've really done anything with them myself. Oh man, I haven't. My mining skill's 134, and I have not done any amount of. I haven't even trained any further smelting skills. I need to save. I think actually the thing I need to save gold now for, beyond just my gear, is I need to save gold for profession skill training. My skinning level needs an upgrade. It's 225 of 225, and it's going to cost me 4 gold 50 to get that upgraded. That's going to be something. But I've got lots of, I'm getting lots of good stuff that I can sell in here. Pings have been really useful when I do it with my partner. Mostly in hardcore, mostly retail. I think I'll have more experience with them after raid comes back, because I can see those being very useful for our raid leader to kind of point things out without needing to, you know, pepper the field with raid markers before we ever go anywhere. I think that'll be the main thing, is just being able to kind of point out stack points and stuff on the fly without needing to have them persistent through the whole fight when they're not necessarily relevant. It'll be like less screen clutter. Hey, kitty, you nice and warm? She's purring. I have a heating pad on my lap to keep me warm, and it's, I think she's enjoying the preheated lap. Another keybind for me to use that I don't have. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what they're on. I haven't sent any myself. I figure I don't have anything that important to ping. People are either going to do what they're supposed to do or they're not. I'm not going to be of any help in the matter. Respawns in this cave weren't really a thing as long as you keep doing circles. Okay. Yeah, I could see myself living here for a good long time then. I could stay here until my bag space fills up. And I think the gold will be pretty decent, especially if I can get like 80 copper per medium leather. And then maybe like, I mean, the heavy leather vendors for a silver 50 each. Let alone what you could maybe get for it. Imagine Mythic Plus hardcore. Yeah, no. I'm okay with Mythic Plus having the fear being failing and not dying. It's bad enough that they're not bad enough, but like it's, the thing is, the challenge is the timer, and the affixes. I don't need another layer on top of it. You know, one stress at a time. More useful in PvP. One thing I have yet to do a lot of lately since they've added pings is solo shuffle, and I'm kind of curious to try it, because I will need to... At some point, they're going to announce the end of the season, and I'm going to be like, oh, geez, who could have predicted this? I need to get, like, 80% of my Vicious War Snail all at once. Oh, no. And then I'm going to, you know, binge it and be miserable. And somewhere in all of that solo shuffle, perhaps somebody will use a ping, and I'll be like, oh, that's neat. How's the confidence for 60? This is going to sound really arrogant, but I'm more worried about getting bored than I am about dying. Not a lot of quest in Ashenvale, getting antsy to get to the Eastern Kingdoms. I did a lot of zone hopping around those like early 20 levels. I did Ashenvale, I did a tiny bit of Stone Talon, which is honestly a bit below you once you get to Ashenvale, but I did it anyways, and then I went back to the Eastern Kingdoms, and I did the rest of Westfall, and then I did like early Red Ridge, and then I went, yeah, I was bouncing all over the place. There's like a nice little double pull. Sentiment. Oh, maybe a triple pull actually. No, we're just gonna do that one. Oh, jeez. My bad. Worst tab target in my life. Helger's fine, though. He's totally fine. And these guys are almost done. Oh, it's a bad taunt. You know what? I'm not going to use a health stone. I'm just going to re-eat my food buff. Getting lots of raptor eggs. The triple pull. Unnecessary. Unwise. Bad tab. Tab 1. Decent level to do the trek to Eastern Kingdoms. 23. You'll be fine. You'll be fine at 23. Ooh, I'm almost out of gumbo. Sweet, 23. Woo! Hi, kitty. You comfy? Yeah. You happy? Well, I'm glad that I had a priest buff for at least 2 more minutes. Extra 26 stam, pretty big deal. Pardon me. Know what this girl's doing tonight if I don't get swallowed by work. Man, caves is really not something you consider until hardcore. I never in my life thought of caves as dangerous. I used to think of them as annoying because in retail, when you get mounts much earlier, caves are annoying because they're slow and you're on foot and because they're winding and you get lost. I was irritated by them because I felt that they were too slow. I never once found that they were like... I was never afraid for my life in them until now. $146. And look at that, we're 50%. We're halfway there. And we are basically exactly an hour and a half into stream. Although that makes me think that I'm not actually going to get to 31 today. I'm going to get a decent chunk of the way there. But I started today with a bit of rested. I think I can maybe get close if I grind, but I think I'm going to stream for another like hour. How much experience could I get if I just ground raptors for an hour? I got 23 bag slots. I got 24 bag slots. Live by engineering for that. Can't go without the nitro boosts. Oh, a heavy hide. Plus, maybe by the end of this, I'll be actually really familiar with this cave. Maybe I'll know what's going on in it. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna get cooking skill for the omelets too. They're green, so that counts. That's nice. 179, yeah. It's not bad. It's not nothing. Can we do a double pull? Send him in first. full dots and another taunt. And then send them over to that one. And then full dots, and then I'll just take the other one whenever it comes over to me. Is that the... No, it's just an Elder Razormaw. We're gonna pull all this right back down here. Just to get out of the way of that pat. I think, double pulls are a little bit spicier, but they do seem like they're faster. And they are a little bit more interesting. So I think in the interest of not getting bored. Because then you do double pulls on purpose, you do triples by accident, and hopefully you just never do quad pulls. Where is that? Oh, it's probably around the corner. There's a tin down here somewhere. I need to mine the nodes so that they can respawn. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, good spot for double pull. This button on my Shift F here is suffering. It's a 2-minute cooldown, and it's an AoE 10-yard taunt for my Voidwalker. And it's super, super nice for this. It really helps with picking up. Yeah, his health couldn't sustain 3. If I was doing a triple pull, I would need to tank 1. Ideally after I get my dots back up. I want a cave now. I live by the motto of, am I really playing if I don't take any sort of risk to not get bored? There's one way to do it. There's risk and there's risk though. Ooh, there's another silver vein. Here, we'll get these. These are green too. I should really, at the earliest opportunity where I can afford it, pay for that skinning skill upgrade so that I can, pay for the skinning skill upgrade so that I can get myself a, more of that. Alright, go get this one. And you pick it up. I bet if I live in this cave for long enough, I will eventually figure out all of the best places to go on. Oh, you resisted the taunt. I'm gonna get that one. Here, you just tank the other one. Annoying. I'm gonna figure out where all the chest spawn points are. What level do you need to be to mine gold? I don't know. That's a good question. I should find out how close it is. I might be able to get there just via grinding like all these like silver and tin veins. Although even silver is like a green grind for me now. It's probably why people buy it to smelt. Might have to be 35. Oh, maybe actually. That's a good point. Oh, there we go. Mining 136. Betcha gold's 150. If I had to guess, I bet it's 150. And I mean, I guess we can make our way over there and check. With dragon flying, regular flying, they would need more use for grand mounts. Caves could be a good niche. I think it'd be cool to have like cave-specific mounts, but maybe it would just be too complicated. Maybe it's one of those things, it's like a cute idea, but in practice it just adds like one layer of too much detail to things to have like a mount that's... But you know, you could use like your basilisks and other cave-like creatures or worms, that kind of thing. A bat. I think a fresh season will be good in retail. I'm enjoying the collecting down off season, but I may have reached a point in my life. I'm not saying I'm over collecting, but you reach a point where you've collected enough things that you're kind of like, what's one more? What's another mount? You know, what's it gonna realistically do for me? A Niffin mount. Want to level a hunter so I can solo Mara tribute runs in hardcore. Oh boy, another mount I'll never use. Yeah. And I mean, I think it's fine as long as you're enjoying collecting for the collecting's own sake, and it's just kind of like a way of tracking your progress in the activity. But if you're doing it mostly for the reward itself, like if it's for the mount because you want the specific mount, I feel like that's a much easier standpoint to burn out from, if that makes any sense. Yeah, 155. What a weirdly arbitrary level. 155 for gold. Theta for Azeroth keep pushing me to keep collecting. On the edge of burnout. Yeah, usually a good point to take a break. Play a different game for a bit. 50k Mog, pretty happy about the milestone. That's a ton of Mog. I like the simplicity of the hardcore grind right now. Especially now that I'm at kind of a level point where all I really want to do is set up in a cave and farm mobs. I'm pretty happy with this. I'm gonna hit them with my shiny stars. And they're gonna drop things that I get to keep and or sell. And it'll be progress. Do enjoy getting the raid sets. PvP sets from the past. I think that I'm going to be more excited about Transmog after I've had another season playing a priest again and not being a Drakthir anymore. I know that gnomes aren't the stretchiest models to wear Mog on, but I think it's still a sight better than whatever the Evoker situation is. So I kind of want to make my way to the entrance of the cave again. Oh, there's another chest. I see where the spawn point is. I want to make my way to the entrance of this cave and log out just to take a short break. Because I don't really want to go all the way back to Menethil. Or Ironforge, really. I'm going to have lots of raptor eggs. I guess that's another thing, is once I run out of... another 20 minutes, I'm going to run out of food buff. And I like having it. It's nice for safety. Vanity is also keeping me from enjoying Evoker. I liked the way that my visage form looked, and I managed to spend a lot of time in my visage form. It's just like weird little things, like wanting my visage form to be the default on my character login screen, you know? Like, in combat actually doesn't bother me that much. I don't love it, but it didn't really get me down because I was, in combat, focused on combat. But the character creation screen is kind of, or the character login screen is kind of brutal. Misplay of the taunts. I need the next taunt to go on the one that he already has because he's not getting that one back. And then we need to consume some shadows, get Hellgrave's health back. Ooh. Silver thread amice. That is cloth int stam shoulders. I'm not going to wear them. I'm going to sell that. Requires level 24. Mine are better, but like, whoa. Yeah. Guess who's rich? It's me. Thanks for the fun, Hazel. Got tired of convincing myself I'm a humanoid transforming into a dragon. Or like whenever you accidentally end up as a dragon on a dragon instead of visage on a dragon. It's just so ridiculous, just so goofy. And I mean, WoW's a goofy game. It's not like I can't complain about my immersion. I don't think I have a lot of immersion to begin with, but I don't know. I'm happy to be a gnome. Do you think I'm going to be a gnome priest forever? Do you think I'm going to get Grass is Greener syndrome again when they come out with something new? I mean, they hadn't added... It was the first healing spec they'd added since Mistweavers. How much gold is sitting on now? 3 gold 48 on my character currently. Unless we're talking retail, in which case I don't remember. A couple million. I haven't looked at my retail gold in a long time. But I have 73 medium leather. I've got some other materials that I can sell here. Silver ore, that kind of thing. I have 6 million retail? I was going to guess 4. I haven't looked at it in a while. I can spend 2 million gold and not miss it. I want to see you customize a halfling in Baldur's Gate 3. It would be fun. I want them to add some new gold sinks that are... there's some for like dragon armor and stuff. I don't know what I want, man. I guess I can just spend my gold on transmog. That's always an option. Ooh, tin. I like. I can use that. Considering doing a variety stream at all? If so, which game? I used to do variety streams regularly. I used to have Variety Friday, where every Friday I would make a point to play a non-WoW game. But I always just end up wanting to play WoW again, and the WoW streams always do better, because that's kind of my audience. And I never really felt a strong need to stream other games, because if the stream wasn't going to do as well and I could just play the game in my own time, then it felt like just as reasonable to play the game in my own time and then talk about it on stream while playing WoW. There didn't seem to be a lot of downsides to that. Thoughts on BG3 if you have any? It looks fun. I've never played it. I've never played any BG game. I haven't watched any footage. I couldn't tell you what the interface looks like. All I know about it is from what people in chat and my mods have mentioned from their own playthroughs. But it sounds up my alley. It sounds fun. You buy anything from Black Market? No, I quit Black Market. Twitch drops kill the Black Market for me, and that's fine. But Twitch drops in Prime loot. There's no sense in me spending gold for like an old TCG toy when they're just gonna give it away eventually for Prime. Seems to swallow people. Yeah. Yeah, for me to spend gold on a gold sink, I'm gonna need to... I mean, I guess one thing I could do is I could, if I really wanted to spend gold for transmog, I could... Oh, sorry, I'm tabbed out of the game for a second. It's no good. Spend the gold for WoW tokens and use the BNet balance to buy the Trader's Post packs that have the extra tender and the extra transmog. I'm just kind of boycotting those on the ick principle for now. Forever? I don't know. I haven't decided. But that is technically a way I could do it with gold. Although, tokens pretty spendy. Tokens pretty spendy. Alright, I'm gonna park myself, like, just over here, and then I'm gonna log myself fully out so that I can take a short break here without feeling like I'm gonna get jumped. So let's just make sure the logout goes through. How you doing, kitty cat? You sleeping okay? You staying warm? Hi. Yeah. You happy that I moved the table back? I finally moved my dining table back to my living room where it goes, which means that my office, while not completely back to normal yet, is slightly more back to normal. All right, I will be right back. All right, kitty. Road to 31. Let's go. Maybe I should recharacterize it as road to, like, I don't know, enough gold for a new skinning level or something. Road to 5. Well, surely we'll have 5 gold just from vendoring stuff when we get back. I could make omelets and vendor those. There's 10 over there, but I think I decided that was, like, too high up to make it worth it. Road to 47. halfway there. That bums me out so much. I think that you have to, at a certain point, just treat classic like... Well, I was going to say like cross-stitching, but that means put it in my cupboard and forget about it once I get a puppy. Treat classic like, I don't know, something that you really chip away on. Let go of any expectation for a finish line and just keep going. Logging in half health every time. There's no fire around here, is there? I never carry mats to make a cook fire. But I am currently eating my final piece of buff food, so... Alright, Kitty, how can we, like, lean back, but be comfy, but also not squish you under the desk here? Is this it? Is this the stuff? Mats to make fire? Is that a thing? Yeah, you need flint and tinder. It's reagents. You can buy them on a reagent vendor, but they're not free and they take bag space, and that's gross. So I usually just look for fires in the world instead. Visually stunning, gameplay fun, combat great, so much stuff to explore and do. Heard this a lot, staying away from it for this reason. Yeah, sometimes you can feel that a game is gonna, like, ruin your life before you've picked it up, and you're like, I'm saving this for the right moment. Thinking of hearthing back to get some rested, decided to kill one more mob. Guess who died? No! Oh, that sucks. I'm so sorry. That's awful. Well, this one. One thing with the cave is because I'm fighting them in melee an awful lot, I tend to get aggro back. As long as I already have my dots up, I guess I don't mind so much because I'll regen that health back just fine. Suddenly remembering why it took me 6 months to reach max level back in the day. So here, let's let him open. Those kind of addictive games when you find the one that clicks with you, such a wonderful immersive experience. Hi, kitty. Oh, that's a couple of different ones. How come the elders are so much bigger? Are these ones baby or are the other ones just like grandpa? They're like 4 times the size of the little raptors. About 18 bag slots left to go. I often would kind of time out my farms or how long I wanted to stay in a given grind spot by how much bag space I had left. And early in the game, or on my hunter, when I'm carrying around herbs and I'm carrying around alchemy supplies and I have a quiver full of arrows, it doesn't take so long. And you're like, yeah, okay, we can farm for 20 minutes and go find a vendor. But on the Warlock, who has triple runecloth bag, or quadruple runecloth bags now, she's got full runecloth. That'll keep you busy for a while. There we go. That's exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to keep him on the first one so that he can keep it until it dies, and then I won the second one because he's had less time to build up aggro in that one anyway. There you go. Good job, Hellgrave. Top yourself up. You're a mess. Rolled a Druid and Wrath today. Another intended farmer. Urban skinning. Maybe swap herb for leatherworking later. Nice. How much do these grays sell for? Curved raptor talon sells for 6 silver all by itself. It's pretty good. There's another curved raptor talon. Are those like the common trash? No, keen raptor tooth, but those vendor for 445. And I have 16 of those. Yeah, we'll have plenty of gold. We'll be in good shape. Let's go around to the left this time. Sorry. Don't mind me. Getting cozy. Cat left. I love that she comes to sit on my lap, and that's Hazel Kitty time, and we cherish it. But you definitely can kick your feet back a little bit more and scoot in a little closer. I'm somebody that likes to sit tucked pretty far under my desk and then rest my forearms on the surface of my desk while I'm playing. I don't know if it's the most ergonomic thing, but that's always how I've been most comfortable to play for any length of time. Ooh, another green. Leather of the monkey. That's so lucky. I've had 2 leather pieces of the monkey drop for me. Those are so juicy. What levels required? I wonder if I should send any of them to my hunter. If it's the kind of gear that she would wear. If I'm not keeping them quite so isolated anymore, or if I should try and sell it. Maybe I try to sell it once for like full value. And if nobody buys it, I just mail it over. Because she's 26, so she can wear both of those. And they're both agi stand pieces. That's so good. I don't really want to lose the hunter either. Can she begin to wear a mail at level 40? Ooh, the chest is back up. Let's do a little double pull. Tab taunting. Yeah, that's how we want to do it. This isn't going to be the most riveting stream content, but maybe it'll be relaxing. I could just do laps around the cave all day. What's in the chest? There's so many goodies in here. Still healing potions. Here, you go do these. That other one that he's got resisted. But that's okay. I thought I was wanting the other one, but I was just missing. You get a lot more value out of your agony if you can double pull, because its damage is, it's so much damage, but it's so backloaded. It does like, you know, 50% more damage or more than my corruption, but most of it's going to happen on the tail end of a 24-second dot. So you can do a lot more DPS if you can double pull and like have them live that long. Is that still gold? It's still gold. So, a couple melee swings. One taunt. Full row of dots. Full flight of dots. Then a second taunt. And then send it over to the second one. And then when it gets there, we're going to taunt that one. Do the AoE taunt when they both catch up. Get the dots on the second one. And then stick them back on the first one so we can keep that. And I'll start wanting the second one. There you go. Good job, bud. You kept aggro nearly on 2 whole things. Discovered your streams in my commute home after a horrible all-nighter. This is exactly the Chill Hazel content people love. Sometimes WoW fills a very similar role to how I used to feel about knitting. Something to do with your hands, especially grinds like this. I feel like can very much just be something to do with your hands while your brain catches up with whatever it is that's going on in there. Or, you know, you can suit your own self. You can put streams on the other monitor. You could have your audiobooks. You could have your YouTube. Another dervish boots of the monkey. I have 2 pairs of dervish boots, both of the monkey. One for each foot. Holy. Okay, well now I'm definitely sending one of them over, assuming she can wear them. That's nuts. don't love our mana pool right now. I'm gonna just do a single pull. Greed. Any more chests? I bet you if you started making like really good time through this cave, you would find the respawns pretty quick. Mana management in Classic isn't as awful as I thought it would be. The strength of wands really makes it much nicer. I functionally never cast Shadow Bolt. It's the only time that I'll ever really go for that is if it's, I will cast a Shadow Bolt if I'm fighting like a big boss and it's like a scary mob and it's decking my Voidwalker and it needs to die ASAP and I have a full mana bar and I know I have nothing else to do with it. That's a good point to like start sinking it in. But even then, the damage difference if your wand has been kept up to date is not that big. Like you're gonna do almost as much, if not more, damage by wanding. Plus, there's just so many advantages. So it's nice. I don't think I would have played nearly as much Classic, or at least not as much casters. If wands weren't in this game, I would just be a hunter. I like auto shooting too much. In what aspect did WoW go from this to easy? I mean, I wouldn't characterize what I'm doing right now as difficult. I'm you know, it's like a 3-button rotation with an auto attack. It's just a different kind of pace, I guess. Cataclysm is when the game is widely credited with changing to a more modern feel and pace and with features, and when people kind of became more disposable to each other. Or like the last patch of Wrath when they first added Group Finder, that's credited with doing some big changes. I have so many raptor eggs. I can probably get my cooking basically until that omelet recipe goes gray. It's just so much. Plus the omelet vendors for $1.50, and you can buy the spices for much less than that. I believe it, even if you're just vendoring, it's profitable to turn eggs into omelets. Alright. That's about all the mana that we have for now. Just continue wandering and carry on with our day. Funny because Kata was when Dungeons raids went to being hard. Dungeons in particular. I think that there was a lot of complaints by the community at the end of Wrath that it was getting too easy and too fast, and original Kata dungeon tuning slowed everything down a lot and made CC important again. Because they were, I think, trying to bring back this feeling. And it's just not what that audience wanted anymore. And that's fair. I think at this point they've evolved to be two separate, both good games that just have different paces and goals. Yeah, I'd like to see them add another class that uses bows, like just ranged physical DPS. It would be nice to see another one. It's a bit strange that there's only one still this many years in. So we've made it to 69%. I guess I can use some mana potions. Or like drink. I don't know, I was gonna drink melon juice, but I'm pretty sure I deleted the melon juice. Tin vein up there. Let's go get that. I'm gonna be running around without food buff pretty soon. Spooky. We'll call this one a mana regen mob. Already have a pretty good haul from that cave. Yeah. Yeah, my good greens, lots of leather. Pretty happy with it. We got 13 bag slots left though. On one hand, I don't want to leave yet, but on the other hand, I need food. We can stick it out for another 20 minutes, I think. I think we're not going to run out of space, and I won't have a food buff, but I think I'll be fine. Do you think that it's the lack of the food buff? Is it the 6th spirit that I'm missing from having a food buff that is making me feel the zoom? Or was it the pattern of double pulls? It might have been the double pulls. Oh, I talked a big game about mana management not being a problem, and now look at me all oom. But the double pulls were so good for experience. I'm excited to see how much silver you get just from vendoring all this stuff. We're already up to 350 in just honest at this time kind of gold. I think I can get my skinning training at the very least. Actually maybe not. Maybe mining training. It freaked me out for a bit that you can change targets without disabling your wand. If you're just tabbing, like you'll continue wanding and your next wand tick will just hit your next target. I would stop and start my wand an awful lot because I wanted to toggle it on manually for each target, and I ended up losing more wand ticks than anything. But the good news is I don't see myself running out of food again anytime soon because I have 20, 40, 51 eggs on me that we can cook into omelets. That'll last us a minute. I'd love to open one more chest before I go. I don't even think I've trained modern ranks of life tap. It's over here. Oh, yeah, I've rank 1 of life tap. You want to see my life tap? 2% health. 2% health into 2% mana. It didn't seem like with wanding being the way it was, it didn't seem really all that useful. 90 boiled clams in my bags. I invested in clams and water to make boiled clams for stam food. Nice. Yeah, it'll be good when I get into 8 stam food. But that's going to be from slightly higher level mobs, I think. We're definitely on the upper end of the 6 stam food. So he's almost got... You know what I should do is I should just do a double pull every time he has his AoE taunt off cooldown. It's a good way to time it. "15-minute food buff is rude, you need to have a lot on you." Yeah, I was kind of hoping it would at one point jump to 30, but I'm starting to think it's not gonna. But I do kind of love grinding. I love grinding mats for cooking. I enjoy farming something purely so I can cook the eggs into omelets, you know. Omelets? Omelets. That's good. Still 15 minutes in Wrath. Just like my 2-minute battleship buff. Yeah, that's really rude. 30-minute buffs feel reasonable. Even my water breathing's 10. So if these guys are 27, 28, you could pretty reasonably stay here. Certainly to 31, maybe to 32. It's just a good cave. It's a decent experience. The only thing it's missing is a nice little fire. I wonder what it would feel like to farm these mobs with... I won't do it, but with Imp instead of with Voidwalker. Because your Imp certainly does more damage, although does run into mana issues with chain pulling. But you have to be able to face tank everything. Horn of Winter. 5 minutes, even back in Mop. Yeah, I figured out what you meant. Horn is Winter. I could see myself turning into somebody that does a special little self-invented ceremony to usher in each season, you know? I can see myself with like a little house and a little yard, and it's like, you know, September 21st or whatever, or December 21st. Although by the time that it's officially winter, I always feel like it's like been winter. Maybe when the first frost falls. You can get some drums, get some tea, light a little fire, say a little speech. Be nice. Cave, great for taking an edible in the evening, having videos playing in the background. Yeah, it's a nice pace. Oh, my chest is back up. One of my aunts kind of does that, but more for holidays and seasons. Oh, I got a gold bar. Is that valuable? Yeah, vendors for 6 silver, sells for like 8 silver. That'll be something. I think this has actually done quite a bit of good for my classic gold. I just won't really know until I get all my auctions back later. But I'm happy. I wanted to loot one more chest and I did. Plus we're up to 74%. Not too bad, not too bad. Not even 1 gold, my immersions are ruined. Usually start to feel it's winter in late November. Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. Probably depends on where you live and what the weather's like, but... If I was choosing based on just the climates that I've lived in, I would say that fall begins early September. Mid-September. And then winter kind of end of November. Because once it's into December, it feels like winter. Even if it's early December still, it does not feel like fall anymore. You got people getting their Christmas lights up. It's winter. And then I would argue that winter lasts all the way until like March. I would classify February firmly under the winter thing. I have a pretty low health Voidwalker at this time, which is a little tiny bit spooky. So I'm going to let him tank that one. I'm going to finish this one myself. And if need be, we can sack him and resummon. I would get another soul shard, but kind of I'm going to sack him. And I'm going to resummon. Just for safety, you know. We'll get another soul shard back so we can do that again. But he was at like 5%, 10% health, something crazy. And I still have lots of shield left, actually. You get to keep that shield. Cave, Northern Wetlands. Northern Wetlands. Her Christmas plates, little Santa motifs. Easter plates, yellow with chickens and such. That's fun. February is more freezing than it feels like it should be. I've never known February to feel any warmer than January. Both of them are like very dark, very cold, very weather-wise gloomy months. You gotta make the most of your indoor hobbies. January and February are for baking and crafting and for gaming, in my opinion. Any more chests? Chests for Hazel? Nope, just out of mana. Love winter, wish could have more of it. There are places in the world that will get more rather than less winter. Maybe you just need a change of climate. Iron deposit, that's what we need. That's the good stuff. That's what's gonna get me my my mining skill up. I do love a good excuse to wear lots of warm layers. I have to continue to remind myself that I have wonderful clothes and they're warm enough and I don't need any new layers or jackets or shirt jackets or anything. I have a weakness for them. There's something about just feeling cozy and not cold. And being like, I purchased this thing that has made me cozy and not cold. And I feel cute in it. Amen, you know. I collect throw blankets. My puppy loves this Sherpa fleece throw blanket that I'm shocked it's lasted this long. It was a very cheap one that I picked up at Target, you know, in my last place in Oregon just to kind of makeshift a cozy spot on a chair instead of having a couch. I figured this is light and inexpensive. It was, you know, something people buy for like college dorms or whatever. But it was good for that. It lived on the bed for a while. It moved to the couch. And now it's Mr. Moose's favorite blanket, and he loves it so much that I can't, if he wants to have it, and I also want to have it, I just go get a sweater and I let him have the blanket. because he just gets so cozy. He wants to snuggle in it. He wants to kind of mouth on it. He has bitten some holes in it. I've accepted this fate. That one's been sacrificed. Puppy? Puppy. Where's the command? There it is. Throw blankets attract cats. I put up a new little short video of him on the story today. He was so funny. I was gonna sit in that pink chair with my coffee. I had like set up my coaster. I was gonna sit down with my coffee and my little thing to write down some stuff for the day. And I was like, I guess, taking too long to sit down, arranging where I was gonna put the coffee or whatever. And he sees that I'm gonna sit in the chair and he's like, I'm gonna beat you to it! And he like leaps into the chair and lays down and looks at me like, huh, dibs. Because he also really likes sleeping in that chair. And we're at a point now where he will no longer bark at me to get out of the chair. I wasn't having that. And I think we've nipped that habit in the bud. I won't give in to that. But he'll look at me and be like, man, I wish I'd thought of that. It's a good chair. It's a good comfy spot. I also still have a cat. She was here on stream earlier. She's sleeping on the chair behind me. Looking glam today. Oh, thank you. Cozy time is the best time. Brought out the onesie for the first time of the year, and it's delightful. Every time I wear something new around Moose, he tries to eat it. Another silver thread Annie's. I have 2 doubles of greens in my bags. That's wild. These drop pretty good greens, like pretty juicy, valuable stuff. Should farm this cave. Yeah, new favorite spot. I might be here tomorrow too. Look up some conversation topics we can get into before we start, and then just do laps and chat. Did you farm in 4? Experience, gold, materials to sell, greens to sell. Mostly experience. It's hardcore. I'm level 30 and 79%. So I'm just working on 31. Make a video on how to make 1 gold an hour. Pup had a routine where he would wait until I got up from the couch and then immediately steal my spot. I'd always be fake exasperated with his cheekiness. Oh. I'm glad he's been sleeping on the couch at night because most of the time he wants to just flop on the floor. And if he's comfy, then that's fine by me. But the couch seems like it would be warmer. You know, he can snuggle with his blankie. Dog's growing like a weed. It's so funny to me that the dog doesn't grow proportionally, right? It's like one thing will grow and it'll look kind of funny for a while, and then that thing will stop and the rest of him will catch up. So like his ears will grow separately from his leg length, which will grow separately from his back length, which grows separately from his paws, right? He had like a 5 days running where I swear his eyes were getting bigger, like his eyeballs were getting weirdly big for his head, and now his face is starting to catch up. It's I think I spend a lot of time looking at the dog, so I'm very attuned to very minor changes in him, but it's just so funny that it's kind of like bloop, 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 bloop. Ta-da! So interesting to see your Warlock playstyle compared to what I do. Never wand, heavy use life tap, drain life, some Shadowbolt ammo. That's how I used to play when I did Classic the first time. I think this is just a comfy thing. I don't know if it's as fast as what you're doing, but I think it's just kind of cozy to... I don't really have enough mana for a double pull, but I am going to do it anyway. Whatever. The thing that I like about Classic is that in some ways it almost feels like an auto battler. You know, like you set up your combat and then you just let it happen. And Hunter feels like that, and Warlock feels like that, and Priest kind of feels like that. And I think that's why those are the 3 classes that I'm playing the most in hardcore, or that I want to get leveled to 60 in hardcore, is because those are the 3 that feel most like an automation game almost. I guess melee has always been like that, but melee gross. Stinky. I'm a ranged player. Pretty much biz for all casters. Chunky damage saves mana. It's nice that it doesn't get pushed back by melee either. So if you are face tanking a mob, which I guess as a mage wouldn't really be much of a thing, but if you are for whatever reason face tanking a mob, you can do so without any impact to your wanding damage. Whereas if you're trying to like hard cast shadow bolts and you're getting punched in the face, it's the worst thing ever. I hate spell pushback. I loathe it. It's awful. Happy Thursday. Thanks, MipWeb. Happy Thursday to you. I face tank all mobs as priest. Made Blizzard AoE for the risky place. On one hand, I'm nearly at the entrance of the cave, and it would be not a bad time for me to think about leaving the cave. But on the other hand, I'm gonna hearth out anyway, right? So like, do another couple minutes, post some stuff up on the auction house, see how we feel. I don't think we're gonna make it to 31 today, but we can certainly do some damage on it, and maybe I'll finish the rest of it off stream. You know, you find a good grind spot and you stick with it. Might get to a point where it's a bit boring to watch compared to questing, though. I think we can start Duskwood pretty soon. I think the 31 would be a not too bad level to poke around with low early Duskwood quests. I would just need to be very careful of Morladim, very careful of Stitches. You don't want to get slapped by an elite. You just got to kind of keep your eyes open and get used to it. Half a level a day won't take long to get to 60. I wonder how long that's sustainable, though. I guess we'll find out. One way to find out. People do get to 60. Someone just got to 60 right now. It is possible. It can be done. No losing hope. Famous last words. Just one more lap. One more chest loot. I mean, we only kill the rare once, right? How often does that respawn? The squid is level 27 to 29. Wasn't too bad. Hi, Hazel. Happy 30. Thanks. So I think I know 2 of the 5 spawn points for chests in this cave. May I know why Moose doesn't sleep in the bed? I want a dog for that reason. Like in my bed with me? His, currently him and Kira are still separated by a baby gate unless they're under supervision. They're doing supervised visits, but they're not just loose with each other. And the bed is on the cat side of the baby gate, rather than the dog, so that's one reason. But even once that changes, I would say that the bed's pretty high. Wouldn't be great for his joints to be jumping up and down there all the time. And then secondly, it is a queen-sized bed. I have a partner, the cat sleeps in the bed, and Moose is a big dog already. He's a puppy, but he's a pretty good-sized puppy, and he's only getting bigger. If he tried to sleep in that bed with us, nobody's getting any sleep. We're just not gonna fit. So plan eventually, once we're all integrated, is to get him a wonderful big dog bed to have in the bedroom in addition to the one he has out front, that is in the same room but on the floor, and try and train him to use that. Because yeah, I think he's going to want to sleep in bed too, but it's just, there's no way. How wide is a queen size? You'd have to Google it. You'd have to Google it. I don't know offhand. It's a pretty standard one though. It's a pretty, should be an easy one to find. But for 2 people, and I take up a decent chunk of space. I tornado when I sleep. I whirlwind. I flying hurricane kick. I am not one of those fall asleep and stay still kind of people. Anyone been lagging in hardcore servers? Not personally, but if I did, you would catch me logging out and doing something else. I think it's not worth it. If you're having connection issues, oof, not worth it. I have long conversations in my sleep. I am terrified of self-reporting. I only talk in my sleep if it was like a very specific dream that I was having. So occasionally my dreams will become memes. It's like the reverse. Like I'll have a quote from my dream, and apparently I was saying it while I was sleeping in addition to remembering it very vividly from the dream. And then we'll just end up quoting whatever the weird dream phrase was. I forget what the more recent one was, but there was something I said while sleeping. It was after the ghosts go away thing. But yeah, you know, you don't let your dreams become memes, but sometimes your dreams are memes. I don't remember. Some kind of a speech. I have a tendency, as somebody who is usually not very confrontational in real life, to occasionally have very dramatic blowout confrontations in my dreams. I'm assuming to let off steam from all of the stuff that I bottle up. Not that I bottle a whole lot up. I don't have a very frustrating life. But I have a tendency to have dramatic, like, monologues of confronting people in dreams. Pent-up rage, yeah, something like that. No, 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 that kind of thing. Yeah, Thinkerbed's 180 centimeters wide. Definitely bigger than some, but I would like to I one day would like to have an enormous bed. A gigantic bed. Or like a separate bed in a tree house. Just go sleeping in the woods like a bear. Define gigantic. King or California king. Whenever I've had a king-size bed at a hotel, I feel as though I'm sleeping on a planet. I feel as though I have ascended to the realm of bed. Yeah, Cali King I think is if you're gonna have big dogs and you're prepared to have them sleep in bed with you. Maybe regular king. It also depends on the size of the room. Like I've seen small rooms that have had very large beds wedged into them. And I appreciate wanting the bed space, and you gotta do what's gonna work for you. But from an interior vibe perspective, sometimes it can be just stifling, like suffocating feeling. I hate it when furniture is too big for the room that it's in. And I get that sometimes you've got to, I have small rooms, I get it. Sometimes it's all you got, but I would prefer to have a huge bed in a room that kind of, it can breathe in, you know? Those are an experience as a tall person, I appreciate them. Heard about some 5-star treehouse hotels in the Amazon. The thing about tree houses is that when it's windy, they move, and that's kind of spooky. I was looking at Airbnbs because there's some that are closer than the Amazon that are kind of like that, and they talk about how in windy weather, which is always, sometimes they're going to sway pretty substantially. It's part of how they're so stable is that the trees bend, but they don't break. But it means that you're bending right with that tree. Yeah, no thank you. It seems like the kind of thing that you could get used to if you lived there all the time, but if you were just like, it's your first night there and you're on vacation, I'd be like biting my nails. Get a Cali King, fill it with giant unicorn plushies. I started bringing plushies to bed again at the age of 31. It's nice to have extra pillows, you know. You use them to like cushion joints, keep a shoulder somewhere, keep your knees somewhere. It's good. Squish, squish, squish. I was in a house on stilts in the Carolinas that swayed during a storm. Did not like it. I went to. They're the best. I have a big one and then a smaller one depending on what size that I'm looking for. But I have to eject both of them from the bed if the cat wants to cuddle because she'll try to get into bed and she'll be like, who is this? And then if I'm not fast enough to pitch the plushies, then the cat won't get in under the covers. So I have to kind of watch to see her coming and then chuck the plushies on the floor. You could just use pillows. But then they wouldn't have names and be cute. I like the cute ones. They make me happy. Key to making a king pillow nest. How are we doing? It's 11:35. I'm at 88%, which feels like it should be very close to leveling. You look at the bar and you're like, wow, you should just stay here and grind this out. Like, you're doing so good. You're so close. But I feel like it would be a pretty substantial amount of additional time. Mini fortress for Kira. Yeah, I really liked stuffed animals as a child, and then as a teenager and as a young adult as well. And at a certain point, I stopped, like, obviously I still have my WoW plushie collection, but I stopped, like, bringing them around with me and bring them into bed with me. And I stopped cuddling with them. And I don't know why. No one really gave me a hard time about it or anything, but I just kind of drifted away from it. And then one day I was like, you know what? I miss it. I'm getting a stuffy. I'm 30. 31. And I want the kitty cat one. That's good. How are our bag slots doing? Oh, we finally filled up our bags. Wow, would you look at that? Inventory's full. Inventory's full. Here, we'll drop the minor mana pot. We'll take the one extra medium leather. And I am going to hearth home to go start to deal with this stuff. We've got 2 bars left, but I'm going to come back to this cave anyway. Oh, no, wait. There's silver. Silver vein. There's a single piece of light leather. I'll drop that too. I used to sleep with every single one of my stuffies under the pillow because I was worried someone would steal them. It was massively uncomfortable. Yeah. We're gonna get the silver and then we're gonna go. You need that. I should look into whether or not I want to train the smelting and actually smelt some of it to get my mining skill caught up, because I would like to have my mining skill up to at least 155 so I can mine gold. That would be nice. We're up to 137. I guess I'm gonna need mining training anyway, so that's probably where a lot of my gold's gonna go, is just profession training. Aw, Saga, that's really cute. Need 4 pillows in my bed, but I only use 1 or 0 when I sleep. Yeah, I like making up the bed with the throw pillows and stuff. I do the throw pillows, and then I do the plushies on top of it, and then sometimes I'll tuck them in with a little blanket because I'm really cute. Once upon a time, on my first BlizzCon that I went to, I had bought some pillows and some plushies at the BlizzCon event. Oh, there's a chest over here. And they were in my room. And after housekeeping and cleaned the room, they had made up the bed and they had put all the plushies like on top of the bed, like all cute. And I thought that was so adorable. It stuck with me for the rest of my life. And I still do that. All right, what's in the chest? Da-da-da. Gold bar, cheese, bolt of woolen cloth, not too bad. All right, we're getting out of here. We got 2 bars left to start off with whenever I get back out here. 90-pound dog. What sort of dog? My Mr. Moose is so warm. When I give him hugs, and he's just so warm. Oh, I went back to Menethil. For some reason, I thought I was going back to Ironforge. I guess I can fly back to Ironforge. But I need to wrap up today's stream and get my life in order so that I am in good shape for raid testing.
What can I do for you?
I will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow being a Friday. Another stream, another day, and I look forward to it. Thank you guys very much for joining me. Appreciate it, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.